Well, folks, I can hear you saying it. Don't lie. I can hear it. Number 11, part 11 in my series, Who Do I Watch on YouTube? Final part. This will be the 13th channel we've reviewed. Over 11 episodes we did. A double yesterday and we did a double the day before. Every other channel has been single. We've been putting them out since Friday of last week. And this is the last one, and it should be with you all being well for about 8 p.m. this Thursday evening, which is I think it's the 4th. I may be wrong, I think it's the 4th. Right, before we get to what the channel is, now those of you that's seen the thumbnail will know who it is anyway. But some may not have seen the thumbnail, and I always like to keep it under wraps for a minute or two until I've done my quick preamble. I've done it in every video, so I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to speed it up this one because this is the last review. The preamble is thus. My name's Dave. I go under the title Britain's Grumpiest Old Git. I might not look that grumpy. I might look old, but not grumpy. But I can assure you, I can get grumpy with the best of them. And it's easy to in this country at the moment. But for this video, I'm going to be all serene, all calm. No problems whatsoever. Nothing's going to affect me. So stay tuned. Right. What's it all about? Right. I started watching YouTube about 22 months ago. I say I started watching it, I was looking for a sporting series on there. Looking for it, and as I'm looking through, I come across a Tenerife channel. Clicked in because I like Tenerife, been 7 or 8 times in the last 10 or 15 years. Like the place a lot, normally stay at Costa Rica. Seen the video, really liked it. Got to watch a few more videos of this person, people. Liked it a lot. And then over the course of about 2 or 3 months, I started to watch other channels, other YouTube channels, mainly as it turns out, based in Tenerife, because there's loads of Tenerife vloggers. Why, I don't know, but there's loads of them. So started to watch those and like them a lot. Got to watch another person from another resort who regularly does vlogs, and watched a couple to do with food, because I'm a big foodie. That's nothing to do with Tenerife at all. But the bulk of the channels I see are in Tenerife. And a year, 18 months ago, I started to think to myself, I want another income, another source of income to go with my 9-to-5 job. But ultimately, to take over from my 9-to-5 job, because I'm of an age now, I'm in my early 60s, where pretty sharpish I'm going to be retiring. I'd like to do it sooner rather than later, but I'm not in a position to at the moment. And I thought, if I can get another income sorted, doing something that I enjoy doing, something that you never know I may become good at, that could be ideal for me. Anyway, based on this first channel I seen and then another couple, what I was doing, without knowing it, was seeing various people presenting these channels, liking this, not liking that, liking this, not liking that, so on and so forth. And I started to think, maybe I could do something like that. Maybe I could. You know, I'd get something from it, but I'm thinking I won't be able to do it as they do it for a couple of reasons, of which I'll go through in a moment. Anyway, there was one channel I viewed, probably the 3rd or 4th channel I got to view, and I thought, my God, if that person can do that, looking and presenting and sounding like they do, I definitely can do that. And that got me thinking. I thought, should I give it a go? Now the thing is, for all I do this on a daily basis, I'm not photogenic at all. I don't even like looking into this. I don't like looking at myself. I don't like the sound of my own voice. Most of us don't. I never have my picture taken, I really don't. It's weird as I say this. I got a picture from a friend a week ago that must be just over 40 years old, the picture that is. My friend's been my friend for more than 40 years. He got a picture from another friend, I seen it and I'm over the moon with it. It's the second picture I've seen in my life that I'm happy with. The second. I've got a tattoo on my ears down to here, but I loved it. I looked okay in it, and I was happy with it. Anyway, that's another story altogether. So I thought I may give it a go. It took me a while to set up my channel because I'm not very good with technology, and I did it with the daughter's help. And the channel started in March of this year, last year. I can't get used to the fact that we're in a new year now. The first videos went out in April, so it's about 9 months old now. And it's doing reasonably well, and it's doing well without any outside help at all. Many of my family members don't know that it exists. I've told nobody. Initially it was only my daughter, nobody else knew at all. A few family members do now know, but they don't all know. Many of my friends don't know, I've told nobody. So nobody has passed my name on to others, nobody has told others to watch it. It's just grown, what do they say, organically. and it's doing okay, and I'm pleased with it. It's not getting where I want it to be yet, but it's got where it is a lot quicker than I could have expected. It's done really, really well for itself. But it's totally different than the channels I'm going to review. As I say, I've already reviewed 12. This is number 13. And I'll tell you in a moment the reason I've left it till last. So all I do now, tell you a little bit about myself and about the channel. Then I've got a little disclaimer that you need to read, although if you don't read it, it doesn't matter because I read it to you. And then I'll review the channel, as I say. And I'm only doing it this way because I've done it with every other. They're all in a series. I think it's something to do with Tenerife channels in my playlist, so you can find them all there. So if you like this channel I'm going to review, you can have a look at this review. If you don't like what I do, you'll tell me, I'm sure you will. And if you want to look at any of the other channels I've reviewed, especially in the Tenerife area, you can. They're all in the playlist. So anyway, I started my channel, as I say, 8 or 9 months ago. My channel is unlike anything you've seen before. It says that in the About section. In that, there's no fancy editing, no fancy background music, no graphics, no nothing. It's just me talking in my little bijou studio here, as you can see. Bedroom! Who said bedroom? It's not a bedroom, it's a studio. Get to the back of the class. Bedroom. Never mind. It's a studio, is this. So I work from the studio here. No graphics at all. No script though at all, so not many could do that script. I have no script. I have the odd bullet points on something. This is something to do with something else. I'll have the odd bullet points on something, and now and again I'll look over to see what I want to talk about. But then I just freestyle, whatever they call it. I just rab it on. Often I spout drivel, but sometimes there's a bit of sense there as well. I cover a range of subjects. I do most everything. I cover sport because I'm really keen on sport. I cover all kinds of media, from sort of film, TV, movie, music, politics, although I'm not a political animal, news of the day. I cover most everything. Many things I make a laugh and a joke of. I've got a weird brain up here. I'll take a subject and I'll run with it and just create something within that subject, but try to make it funny, but always delivered with a deadpan face. So as you may think inside, he doesn't realise he's being funny here, but he does realise it really, or at least he thinks he's being funny. That's me, by the way, when I say he thinks. I'm talking in the, is it second person, they call it? Anyway, that's irrelevant. So anyway, I do lots of stuff. On this channel, I do more knocking than anything else. I knock lots of people. Some people aren't happy with somebody on the channel calling people, but I do it. But just quickly, let me explain why. The people I call are those that I believe deserve to be called, those that I believe are ripping us off, those that I believe are stealing a living, those that I believe have took places that people more talented than them behind them should have taken. I'll give you 2 examples. You may have a footballer who's on probably, let's say £120,000 per week. £120,000 per week. Most others won't earn that per year. They're earning it per week. They can't cross the ball. They can't control the ball. They can't pass the ball. I could do those 3 things when I was 9 and a half. I never got paid for it, but I could do those 3 things and do them all pretty well. They're in 120 grand, can't do it. It annoys me. Then you've got your actors. Let's take actors. These are the easy ones because they're on our screens 4 and 5 days a week. Look at your soap actors and actresses. There's some out there that are absolutely awful. Cannot act to save their lives. Some of them have been on our TV screens for upwards of 20 years. They're in our homes 3 or 4 times a week. Some of them are loved. The public absolutely love them as people, as characters. And I'm thinking, how on earth can they have a fan base when they just cannot act? It does me nothing. And I tell you all the people that I think are crap. Now, some people disagree with me. That's why the comment section's there, because they can let me know. Many people agree with me, but not always. Some people, because of those I call, have a right pop at me. They're quite welcome to. The great thing with this channel is the comment section has always remained open. It's never closed. I've never, ever, ever in 8 or 9 months wiped a comment. I have never, ever, ever in 8 or 9 months got rid of a person visiting the channel. Ever. Ever. I've got, every channel has the haters and those that just come on to cause grief and to stir up trouble. I've got 1, possibly 2, but I think it's 1 person who is as nasty as they get. Do they call them trolls, whatever they call them? He's awful. I think he's got 3 or 4 different profiles and he tries to cause grief all the time. I keep saying it doesn't matter to me, although on every video I've done on this series I've mentioned it. And it really doesn't matter to me, Because all I do is just ignore the person. Never, ever message back. Never get involved in conversations with him. I'm not bothered. Let him carry on. Because at the end of the day, every time he looks, it's another view. It racks up my views. If he puts a thumbs up or thumbs down, it helps me as well. He probably doesn't know that, but I know that's the way it works. And at the end of the day, I just don't care what he says. And the people that follow my channel know that he's a nutter. So they don't care either. So nobody takes him on. So he can carry on doing it, and in the end, he'll just go. I'll always get another one further down the line, but that's life. I'm broad-shouldered, I'm thick-skinned, I can take anything. If people want to have a go at me, they can. But I'd rather them just disagree, and we can comment on things, comment back and too. But they can have a pop, they can have a real pop. If they want to get nasty, they can get really, really, really nasty with me. I won't get nasty back. I'm too old for that, I don't need that. I'm not having a pop at anybody because they've had a pop at me. Nastiness isn't needed, but if you want to do it, you can. I have the unsubscriber that'll leave because they're not happy with some things I say about some people that they like. I can't understand why they leave. I would just, if it was me, I'd say, I don't agree with that. I think him or her are brilliant. Blah, 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 blah. And this is why I do. Because if I agreed with most of what they said about other people, I wouldn't leave them just because they don't like one person that I do. We're all different. But they're welcome to leave, as they're welcome to subscribe. It's a free world. And I was always taught to believe that this country is all about free speech. It isn't as much anymore. But the thing is, I'm not just a grumpy old git. I'm Britain's grumpiest old git. So in my mind, I'm allowed an opinion even when they say I'm not. And I always give one. The great thing is with me, any opinion I give on anything is as truthful as you'll ever, ever, ever get. I say ever 3 times to really reinforce that point. Many people say they're truthful. Many people push the truthful angle. There's 2 channels that I'm reviewing on here of the 13 I'm reviewing that push truth all the time. And I would say they are truthful up to about 90-95%. They're not 100% truthful, more about that maybe later. I am 100% truthful even if it causes me any grief, and sometimes it does. So that's my channel in a nutshell. That's what I do. Right. Before we get to review the channel I want to review, there'll be no fanfare or whatever else, trumpets. There should be, because it's the last of all that I'm doing. But before I get to do that, I'll just read you this thing that I'll show you this thing that I show everybody. I don't know why I show it. I mean, you can put your TV on or your computer on hold, freeze frame, to read it. But I put the bins on a minute and read it to you, so there's no need to. But I do that just to everybody, so you know what I'm reading is on there. And there you go. And it says, because I can't remember it, although I've now done it 13 times. If you've just watched my review on a channel that you follow, that's the review that's coming up in a moment, presented by a presenter that you no doubt love, that's not me, you don't know me, well, you do if you're one of my subscribers, but if you're somebody that follows the channel I'm going to review, you've probably never seen me before. If you love the presenter on the channel that you watch, and you will love him or her, because you've watched it for weeks, months or years, you're bound to love him. Please, now this is me saying please, I'm saying it to you, this is me saying it to you, please. Before having a go at me, watch my video entitled, Why Did I Start a YouTube Channel? It came out Thursday of last week about 8:30 PM and it explains more about me and why I started the channel. Now the reason I say that is, when I review any channels, there's been a couple of channels I've reviewed that I've had nothing but positivity about the channel, about the presenters, nothing at all to say about the presenter, nothing at all. There's been 1 or 2 where I've had a few pops at the presenters, not sort of 30% I'm saying I'm not keen on that part of the presenter, but 70% I love that. I think there's been 1 where probably 70% I don't like the presenter and presenters, and 30% I do. But what we tend to do as Brits, I've said this every time, is if I review this, say the upcoming channel now, and if I say 10 things about this channel or this presenter of the channel, and 2 are negative and 8 are positive, what we do as Brits, we think, I can't have him saying that about him or her, I like that channel. So the keyboard warriors amongst you beyond that, messaging me saying, what are you having a go at him or her for? We think they're brilliant. It's what we do, folks. We focus on the negative, not the positive. For all the positive by far outweighs the negative, it's the negative we look at. The channel presenters are probably the same. They'll say, why is he saying that about me? But I've not said anything about him. But if anybody wants to reply to any of these videos, any presenters, they can do. They can even do a video about me. It's not going to hurt me. They can say this guy from the northwest of England is an absolute blah, 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 blah. Whatever they want to call me. It's there for them to say. I'm not going to stop them. It's all about free speech. But what I will say is, anything I'm going to say about anybody, I've said this in all 13 videos, comes from a place of just honesty. If I'm reviewing a channel, I'm going to review the channel and the presenters, and give you my honest opinion on the channel and the presenters. Otherwise, it's not worth doing a review. But all I will say is, all 13 channels I watch, regardless of how often I watch them, because I watch some more than others, and a couple a lot more than others, I must like the channels, otherwise I wouldn't watch them. I wouldn't do a review on them if I thought the channels were crap, because I just wouldn't watch them. So it doesn't come from a place of being nasty. Nothing comes from a place of envy or jealousy. Some of the channels are far, 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 far bigger than mine. I'm envious in that I wish I was doing as well, but I've only been going 2 minutes, they've been going for years, but also they're giving more content and a different content than me, and they've got a fan base. My fan base is there, it's got more than I thought, quicker than I thought. I want it to be more, in time it will be. It just grows, and that's how it happens. But at the end of the day, I'm not producing comment because I'm envious or jealous or I've got any nastiness in me. Every single channel I'm reviewing, and there's 13 of them over 11 videos, I wish them nothing but the best, and I want them to do well. That's all I want for them. They all work hard, and to that end I want them to do well. Lastly, about my channel, as I say, what I don't do graphics, I don't do background music, I don't do editing. Do none of those 3 things. All the 13 channels I'm going to do most all of those things, and most of the channels do them very, very, very well. They're spending much more time doing that than I'm spending, but I have a full-time job, well I say full-time job, a 5-day-a-week 9-to-5 job, do work little bits from home so I can pinch half an hour here if I have no lunches or breaks or whatever else, but a lot of my work's done early mornings and late evenings and especially weekends. But channel-wise, nobody probably on the whole of YouTube puts out as much content as me. I do anything from sort of 4 to 5 videos per day on a quiet day, up to sort of 6 or 8 on an average day, and all the way up to 10, 12 or 14 on a very, very busy day. There's not many of them, but I do some. If there's news out there that I think's of interest, regardless of what kind of news it is, I do a piece on it. But for all I don't do all the editing and everything else everybody else does, I do bundles of research. You have 12, 13, 14 different places that I research. They take me forever. So I put a lot of work in on a daily basis anyway, plus my full-time job. So I do plenty of work as well, although it's a lot more basic than everybody else. Okay? So that's me. I'll part that up, that's me done. In fact, no, there's one other thing. Subscribers. I've been going for 8-9 months. As of last week, when I looked at the figures, I'm on about 1,270 subscribers. Not huge, but I'm happy enough in the time that I've been. The channel I'm going to do, because I do this for everybody, tell you how many they've got. The channel I'm going to do for those that don't know, and most of you will, because you've seen the thumbnail, is called Just Rick. Just Rick, it's his second channel. He's got a channel of his own, and he has another channel, Rick and Shelley of Tenerife. Now, those that don't know it, that are watching this video, it's the first one I did in the series, as it turns out. So really, Rick is bookending this whole series. Video number 1 was his channel. Video number 11, which is the 13th channel, is again his channel. So it's Just Rick. Now, Rick started his channel on April 2020, and as of a week ago when I last looked, he was on 3,360 subscribers. 3360, April 2020. Right, okay, the bins can come off now because I don't think of anything to read. I just hope that I don't forget anything, because there is one thing. I've done this video already. It was 45 minutes long. Hopefully this one's going to be shorter. I'm trying to condense it more, but the reason I'm redoing it is there's something I never put in the first video that's really important. Can't believe I missed it, but I did. So I'm going to redo this. So a lot of the things I said in that one I won't say in this, and vice versa, but not to worry. Right, the reason I've left this till last, well, I'll tell you what the reason is, because of all the video channels I watch, of all of them, this is the one I watch the most. I watch this more than anything. I've watched this since the day he put out his first video. I've never, ever, ever missed a video. I watch the videos in their entirety. I never, ever skip through them. I've watched everything from minute 1 to minute 12, 14, 25, whatever it may be. I don't do that with most anybody else. In fact, no, the Rick and Shelley channel, when they do a Sunday live, I never watch them on a Sunday because I'm busy either doing dinners or having family round, or just watching the football. I'll watch them maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or even Thursday evening, often late on while I'm reading the newspaper, if the wife has gone up to bed before me, and I'll watch that, listen to that whilst doing it. I used to listen to the lives in Hoppies on a Thursday. I tend not to anymore because I just don't have the time. But if I've got time on my hands and there's nothing on TV and I'm in on my own at night time, maybe after they've been on, I might put them on and listen to a song or two here or there. I tend to always every week watch the first 5 minutes that he does before Shelley starts singing, just to see what he's going to say. So I'm very invested in his channel. Of all the people I'm reviewing, and there's 13 as I say, he's one of the own, I think 2 of the 13 I've met. I've met him. I met him about 2 years ago. Not to meet him, not to talk with him. Shelley had sung somewhere. I'd seen her many times, and I went over and gave him a few euros to get him and her a drink. That was meeting number 1. Last year I went over there in October, and I spoke to him I think on 2 occasions. All a bit weird really, it's a bit of a misunderstanding on my part, but nothing bad. Anyway, that was it. So I've met him twice, but no pal of his, no friend of his, no nothing. I've got no skin in the game at all. Started watching his channel from day one. I would guess probably from day one, channel-wise, I probably agreed with probably 90% of everything he said. It's probably more 60-65% now. Things have dropped a little bit, but that doesn't matter. We don't have to agree with everybody. That's the great thing about opinion and debate. It's there to debate and to have opinions on. Love his channel, just love it. Not in the way many do. Rick has a hashtag on all the time about mental health. He did a lot of early things about mental health and mentions it pretty regularly. Always mentions, does the caveat that I don't practice mental health. I'm not a doctor, psychiatrist, whatever else. But he talks about mental health with many people. I see hashtags on there, and I think one of his videos said some police force have said it's great for people's mental health, and they've got it on their list of things to watch for people with mental health issues. I don't get that myself. I don't see that at all. It doesn't do anything for my mental health watching his channel. His followers, he's got a fantastic following. Most of these channels that I've reviewed have, but I would suggest he's got probably one of the best. Reason being is he doesn't do many videos per week like some of the channels do, only sort of 1, 2, maybe a maximum 3 a week. His videos aren't that long. They're all differing subjects. They're not all about eating somewhere or whatever else like most do, or just walks up the prom. He's always got something to talk about. It's not just walks showing people places that are open and beaches and blah, blah, blah. He actually chats with his audience. He'll walk old Rolo there, usually. He'll go to places I've not seen in Tenerife, it's nice to see them. The places I'll probably never go because I'm not a big walker when I'm away. I'll probably walk to a bar or a restaurant rather than going for a walk around the beach somewhere. But he'll show me places I don't see. It's all very gentle. It's all very, very much laid back. Everything different than I do, because for all he's just walking and talking, he may not have a script, but he'll stop pretty regularly when he's not sure what to say and whatever else. He edits a lot. I mean, I think he heard him once say he won't cough or do that or anything like that on camera. He'll always edit it out and carry it on. That doesn't bother me seeing somebody do that because we're all real, you know. You won't get me picking my nose on camera. I'm not saying I ever do pick it, ladies and gents, but if I did, you wouldn't get me doing it. But I'll cough, I'll do that regular, I'll do that, but I'm a fidgeter anyway, and I just don't re-record anything. I don't edit because I don't know how. I don't re-record anything, I just let it roll. Rick's different, he's more professional, but they all are. I'm not knocking him for that, it's different than what I do. But I like the places he goes, I like many of the subjects he talks about. Some of the subjects don't interest me. Some of the things he says, I think that's a bit crappy and whatever else, but that's just me. He did something the other week about his daughter, the one about, should I pay for my daughter to come over from uni, blah, 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 blah. I'm in a quandary, and he's asking people for their opinion. And, well, I know what my opinion had been, and it had been what he was doing. He relented a little bit in the end, and some might have told him different than he wanted to hear. I think it was about 70-30 in his favour. Well, I think he wasn't expecting 30 to go against him, 30%, but they did, or 35. It didn't bother him, but I think he wanted more, and I think because of the thingy against him, it changed his views a little bit. And I got what everybody was saying about paying for her to come over and whatever else, but he was right initially, and I don't know why he had to ask that to people. I mean, I'm a dad, been a dad for many a year. I'm older than him, I'm 10 years older now, but I know how to bring my kids up and what I want to do and blah, 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 and I'm comfortable with it. And now and again we make mistakes, we all make mistakes, but that's life. But somebody can say to me, no, don't do it that way, and I do it the way they've advised me, but ultimately that might be wrong. So as a parent, you've got to make up your own mind and go with it. And I thought he was on the ball, but I digress, and why I don't know. But I'm going to different bits of different videos he's done. Some of them positively and some of them slightly negatively. Rick's been in the news recently in the last week or so. It's all blew up halfway through the videos I was doing. I did my first 2 on Thursday night, but I put them out Friday evening. I did 3 more Friday night, 2 went out Saturday evening, 1 went out Sunday evening. I wanted to do 4 on the Friday evening because I wanted to put 2 out Sunday evening. I couldn't get to put the second one out Sunday evening. I never had the time to record it. Work got in the way of life and whatever else. So I thought the Sunday one I'll record on Saturday. Didn't have time to do it on Saturday. Then I thought I'll do it on Sunday. And I think it was Saturday it blew up where Rick's done his review that everybody in the Tenerife vlogging community is talking about, where he said one person shouldn't have been doing a bad review on restaurants. I've already covered it on a couple of occasions already. Now we all know now he's mentioned no names, he's mentioned no restaurant name. I've seen in his comment section on his channel only 2 days ago, he's still not mentioning any names. But I think everybody knew he was on about either the Night Strider or the Mat Master. Turns out it was the Mat Master, I do know that. I don't know what the restaurant is, but I think I do. I think it's Harriet's, but I don't know. But I think it is. But if it isn't, I think the review might have been taken down. But I've seen in Rick's comment section 2 days ago, people were asking, is the review down? And he's saying, I still don't want to name it. Some have asked, what's the place called? He doesn't want to name it. Some have asked, who is the person, who is it about? He doesn't want to name him. Some have asked, has it been taken down? He said, as far as he knows, it's still there. I'm thinking it's Harriet's. I'll go through this very quickly. In the first video I did on this, I did it longer, but I've covered it on other videos, so I don't need to. Rick did his video. I thought it was a fantastic video, one of his best. I knew it'd go down well. I knew it'd create a bit of a hoo-ha like it has. Or I had a couple of issues with it. I mean, one issue for me would be, I don't know why he's not mentioning the person's name and the restaurant name, but he doesn't do that. But to the same token, none of them do that. Everybody on this community talks in riddles, and I don't get it, but they do. There has been a bit of a pile-on against the person it was about, and people sort of take sides. The person it was about doesn't need anybody to take sides, so he stood his ground. Others feel that they should, but in the main, just to get more exposure for themselves and to align themselves to a different wagon train. I don't get that, and I've mentioned it in the past couple of videos. As Rick's doing the video, I'm thinking, this is good stuff, this. He said at the start of the video, I'm probably losing a lot of subscribers here, but I'm going to say it anyway. Well, that's why I say there's a couple of channels that push honesty, they push the envelope on honesty massively, and funnily enough, it's Rick, and it's his best mate, the guy from London, Darren John. And I'm not saying either of them are dishonest, I'm not saying that for one moment, I'm not saying that at all. But they're honest to about 95% in my eyes. I mean, when Rick says at the start of that video, I'll probably lose a lot of subscribers here, I'm a minute and a half in and I'm thinking, no, you're not going to lose subscribers, pal. You're going to gain them. No ifs, buts or maybes, you're going to gain them. And when I say he's not 1,000,000% honest, and I'm not calling him here one iota because he's got followers, he's got friends, fans out there, I know he has. He isn't thick. He's a pretty clever fella. The subjects he covers and the way he talks tells us all that. But he knew that was like throwing a grenade into a bunker. He knew it was going to create. But he knew, because of the stance he was taking, because of the honesty he was showing there and the way he said it and presented it, he knew people would praise him for it and pat him on the back. You'll get all those people that like the restaurant and go in it regularly, whichever restaurant it is. I'm thinking it's Harriet's, I don't know. You'll get all the people that go to Tenerife regular that love Tenerife. You'll get all the people that go to Tenerife and believe in the businesses there and don't want them harmed. And more importantly, you'll get all the people that follow Rick anyway, that think he's brilliant, that think the subjects he covers are fantastic, that he's dead honest, he's dead this, he's dead that, he's dead the other. And he has them all on his chat every week, because now and again I'll look at his chat. It's very rare. I probably only commented twice in 12 months because I don't join any chats or comment sections of anybody's, although subscribe to Rick, but I don't comment. I don't feel the need to. There's plenty on there that do that, and I don't often have the time because I've got my own channel to run, as I say. But I know with the kind of people that follow him on there, the things they say about him, I knew when they seen that, it'd be, Rick, you're so refreshing, Rick, it's brilliant, it's great that you're saying it, and that was the thread. You had a few people that followed the Map Master that went on his channel having a pop. You'll have a few people that follow them both, and I've seen that, where a couple were having a pop and a couple not. A couple would say, look, I watch the Map Master, Rick, but I also watch you, but I think he should be able to do what he wants, and when all said and done, he doesn't tell you what to do. You had a few saying, I think you're wrong there, but I'll still subscribe, but I subscribe to both, and I like Lee. You had a couple maybe said they'd left you, but I think I've seen 8 or 9 that had joined. I've seen one comment there that says, I watch you regularly, I don't really join channels, but it was that good, I'm going to join you. I knew you'd get those kind of things. As I say, a minute and a half in, I knew you'd get new subscribers. And I don't know how many extra you've got, you might have lost a couple. I'll bet you're definitely in front of that video. If it's not between 10 and 30 at least, I'll be surprised. But I could be wrong. I could be well wrong. But I would imagine between 10 and 30 people have subscribed that didn't before. And that's me just watching after a minute and a half. So if I'm after a minute and a half and it's not my channel, I've not heard the full 15-20 minute video, I'm pretty sure you knew it as well. Because as I say, I think you're a clever fella. But I might be doing you a disservice. I might be thinking you're much, much better than you are. Thinking that you're much, much cleverer than you are. I don't think I am. Anyway, I'm watching the video and I'm sort of agreeing with you. I'm thinking, I get it. I know where it's coming from. Blah, 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 blah. But I'm thinking, name the person. Go on, name the person. Name the restaurants. At least name the restaurants. So then I can look at it. Didn't either. And I thought, it's the old cop-out that they do. You know, there's been a thread going on for the last sort of 6 or 8 weeks now with Darren John and the Map Master. No names have been mentioned. The Map Master's virtually kept his own counsel and said nothing. But Darren John's been saying bits and pieces but not used his name. And Rick's got involved in it as well. And they'll say he's not, but he has in a roundabout way. And they both talk about friendships and friends and true friends and blah, 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 blah. And then Darren John said a bit more about it a couple of weeks ago, where he mentioned about the Map Master being more keen on YouTube than friendships and whatever else. And I'm thinking at the time, you've gone too far there, pal. You know, I mean, you can still be friends. You could have been friends. The thing is, Darren, you're working full time and doing this as a sideline, like I'm doing. The Map Master, it's his only job. So it's got to work for him. He's got to make it work. Anyway, that's by the by. So Rick puts this out and I'm thinking, go on, tell us where the place and tell us what the person is. So, but nothing was said. And I'm agreeing with him initially and I get where he's coming from. And then I'm thinking I'm a bit 50-50 as I'm listening to the whole video. Because I'm thinking, like some have said, well, whoever it is, they should be allowed to do what they want to do. Because you do what you want to do. I do what I want to do. But then I'm also thinking, well, what has he said? What has he done? Now, he says the person rates things out of 10. Well, that made me think it's probably the Map Master because it's what he does. I've heard him give some 4, 5s and 6s before, but not many. He very rarely gives a 10, but gives the odd one. I've said on previous videos, I don't like the way the Map Master does everything with his food reviews. Have a look at that chip, how fluffy it is, and I'm thinking, I can't see it's fluffy on my screen. Have a look at that piece of chicken, look how succulent that is, and I'm thinking, I can't see how succulent it is. And now and again, he doesn't do it as much as his mate, old Jeff Carter there, but rate that out of 10 yourself, what do you think of that? And I'm thinking, how can people rate a dish they've not ate? They can say it looks good and the price looks good, so based on that, I'd probably give it 7, 8 out of 10, but they can't give it on the quality of food because they've not ate it. You know, also, they'll show him eating, not as much as Darren shows himself eating, but when Rick does them with Shelley, I like it because they don't show themselves eating, they cut off and then come back to it. Rick himself, they do food reviews with Shelley, and I've heard the odd one where they've not been as fulfilling with the praise, where maybe Libby Shelley said, well, it's not bad, but I have a better, or it's not as good as such and such a place. Well, that's not great, what she might say, but it's nothing bad, and I like that. I don't like the reviewers that everywhere they go say every meal is brilliant, everything is fantastic, I know all about my food. Darren does that all the time. I've never seen, I can remember Darren John going somewhere and saying, that was crap, or that was really poor. Never seen it. So I want people to show a bit more honesty. I do agree that a place could lose business if a review's really bad, but whichever restaurant it was about, and I don't know if it was Harriet's, Rick said he's got 4.5 stars or 4.9 stars or what on Trustpilot. Well, I think more people listen to that than just one bad review. But what I would have done as Rick, if it was me, and let's say it was Harriet's, it may not have been, I would have gone there within 3 or 4 days with Shelley, had a different meal, reviewed it, but not made it a review, honestly. And if it's as good as saying it was lovely, say, well, this is what we thought of this. Somebody reviewed the place only 3 or 4 days ago. I thought they were wrong because they badly marked it, but this is absolutely lovely. It's always been. Now, going back to Harriet's, if it was Harriet's, don't know if it was. After I seen Rick's video, it was about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, on early hours of Sunday morning, I think. Then from there, I wanted to look for the place I thought it might be. I knew it was the Mapmaster, I don't know how I knew, but I did. And I thought, I'll try this Harriet's, and I tried that, but I didn't watch it all. So I don't know if they were awful to the staff, or being awful, or being nasty, because I've said that one in my past videos. I don't know if I heard that with Rick's video, maybe I never, but I don't know. But I know they often do the Macs when they go outside, and there was 3 or 4 of them there, because Rick said there was 3 or 4 people. I know he's been doing reviews with the Crackmaster and 1 or 2 other people, and I actually watched this review, and they all give it between about 6 and 8 out of 10. One of them said the food wasn't as good as he would have liked, he's had better ploughmans. One of them said, well, I'm only giving it a 7 out of 10 or 6.5, but I'd like to give it more because it's a local business, and I've got a local business here myself. That was the Crackmaster. But the Crackmaster said, but I had breakfast here, they're absolutely out of this world. And I think the Mapmaster said, I've had it before for breakfast. I think he had Sunday lunch. Absolutely brilliant. All 3 of them said things are normally better. And I thought, well, what's bad about giving a bad review? But then saying, normally the food's brilliant. Any restaurant can have an off day, a bad day. That's what I thought. So I thought it went too far. But I understood why he was doing it. I really did. But then again, part of me thinks, well, I like honesty. And if people think the food's bad somewhere, tell us. You know, and then somebody like Rick can go back in and do another review and say, no, I'm coming here. He could have even mentioned it the second time. Well, a reviewer did something I know a week ago. I still don't want to name who it is, but it was this place, but you'll find it on YouTube. He reviews lots of food and he marks food. Have a look for it. He gave a bad review. But we've had say just, we've had this. Beautiful. That restores the faith. Could have done that. Anyway, it all got done. The following day, the Mapmaster decides he's never going to Tenerife again. Threw his doll out of pram and that's it. I think he's wrong. I think he should. But as I've said in Rick and Shelley's review that I did in the first one of these, I prefer the way they do food, and I prefer it because we don't watch the meetings, so don't need to. But the 2 things I prefer it about, well, the main thing I prefer about it is they go some places off the beaten track, and they go places that nobody else goes to, and I like that because what you found with the Mapmaster is he regularly goes the same places and the odd new one. Same with Dan and John, regularly same places and the odd new one. Rick and Shelley don't do that, and I like the way they do things. And based on that, I think I said it in the Rick and Shelley review, they mentioned one about 6 or 8 months ago. When I went there in October, we went there, the one that did the steak tacos on the front there. And again, I still can't remember what it's called, but I do know it. Fantastic, absolutely loved it. Wouldn't have gone there if it wasn't for Rick and Shelley. So to my mind, they do something right. They've certainly helped me there. Right, so that's it on that subject. Then we'll go to other videos I've watched of Rick's. Now, the real reason I like Rick's channel, the biggest reason of all, and the real reason I watch it more than anything else, and I watch it more than any other channel, I say I watch it religiously, I never miss one. Sometimes I might see when if I'm working from home within 10 minutes of it being posted, but I often see them same day. It's very rare I see them the day after. I'll often see them same day, even if it's sort of 11, 12, 12 at night, I'll see them before I go to bed. The reason I really like the channel, it's based on about 2 or 3 videos that Rick did. I mentioned yesterday when I was doing a review on somebody else's channel that one of these people did a review, not a review, a video, a vlog, whatever you want to call it, with Rick. It was this, is it Cole's Place? I think it's Cole's Place. He did a review with Rick where they're walking around Tenerife and he's doing a Q&A session with him. He says, Rick, I do a bit of a series here where I walk around with different vloggers when I come to the island and other places as well. He said, and I do a bit of a Q&A to let my viewers know about different vloggers and where they come from and how they've got into things and blah, 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 blah. Number 1, are you comfortable with it? Well, you are because you've turned up. But number 2, what I do is ask questions just off the top of my head. They could be anything. It's not scripted. Do you mind that? Because you don't know what they're going to be. If there's any questions you don't answer, you don't have to. That's up to you. But I'm going to ask him, is that what you said? Yeah. And he walked around with you. I thought it was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it. And I mean, really enjoyed it. It's one of the best 4 videos I've seen whilst I've been watching stuff on YouTube of anything, not just Tenerife, of anything, but especially of the Tenerife ones, one of the best 4. Really, really enjoyed it. So that was one. And what you were doing when you were walking around, you was telling us about yourself, you were telling us questions about, answering questions again about the motor trade, which you've been in, blah, 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 blah. And as I'm listening to it, I'm thinking more and more, I'm thinking, oh my God, me and him are so alike in so many ways, it's unbelievable. And I mean, so many ways. Me and you have had so many life experiences that are so similar, it's unbelievable. I mean, in so many ways. Me and you were both big earners and maybe had a few quid, but for different reasons lost it. So there's a difference there, but it's the same. Just crazy. Me and you both went in pretty high management. Everything about what you did is the same. You've told us things in the Sunday lives you've done with Shelley about the relationship you and Shelley have, and I mean just things around the house. I don't mean as in getting on with one another, but some of your actions are within the house and around the house and whatever else are dead similar to mine. And some of Shelley's actions around the house and whatever else, without me going into too much, are dead similar to my wife's. And I'm thinking, we're even the same that way. Now, you've had obviously a relationship end, and you're now with Shelley. I've not. I've had a constant with wife, kids, grandkids, and whatever else. But other than that, we're very much in the sort of same place as well. So a lot of things you're saying and bringing up makes me thinking, that's me. That's me. That's me. So I've seen a kindred spirit there. You're as honest as I am when you're talking. You'll just answer the questions. And I'm thinking, I like that. I think you did a video about being in the car game and various things about the car game. And you mentioned somebody that was awful with you, blah, 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 and how you ultimately sorted him out. And you mentioned jealousies within the game and whatever else. All kinds of things I've experienced, all kinds of things I loved. So that one you did with Colin was fantastic, one of the best I've seen. As it turns out, this is probably why I like the channel more, you've done probably 3 of the 4 or 5 best I've seen in Tenerife. You've been involved in 3 of them. You've done a double feature that you did with Michael, is it Levy Jr.? I keep wanting to say Michael J. Levy, Michael J. Fox. I think it's Michael Levy Jr., the singer. It was about mental health and whatever else, but it was more than that. I just loved it. Thought it was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Met Michael for the first time last year when he was singing at the Calypso Bar on a Saturday afternoon. Went to see him twice. He was that good. I would probably never have gone and seen him if I hadn't heard what you and Shelley have said about him. Don't get me wrong. You've praised many acts over there, and some I've seen and I've not been that enamoured with. For me, Shelley was, singer-wise, always the best on the island by a country mile, and I mean by a country mile. That was until I seen Michael, and I think they're both up there. For me, Michael's by far and away the best male singer, Shelley the best female singer, in my eyes. They're both similar in that they both do very long sets, and they're both similar in that the range of songs that they do is absolutely phenomenal. I don't know of a woman or a guy that sings such a range of songs. The list must be like endless. They can pick from so many. It's crazy. They're both brilliant. When I met and seen him, I wanted to tell him what a great singer he was, and that I'd look forward to seeing him. But I wanted to mention to him the thing I'd seen with you and how fantastic it was. Now, I've not got mental health problems as such. I had some issues 10 or 15 years ago, but in a weird way, and I'm not going into that now, it's not the video for this. Sorted about myself, and someone say, well, how did you do that? I did. I'm just different than most. We're all different. But that's by the by. That's all gone now. But Michael's was very enlightening, really opening, but really honest, really frank. But I liked a lot of the questions you asked, and more importantly, I loved his answers. His honesty it shone. But I just felt sorry for the fella, and I mean really, really sorry. When I met him in the Calypso, I got actually emotional. When I recorded this first video yesterday, which I'm re-recording, I got emotional then. I don't want to, and I'm not doing now, which is weird. I don't know what the difference is. And I had a few drinks there, maybe that played a part, but I was just taken back to his video with you and the thought of what he said. And I don't remember all the words, all the things you asked him, all the things he said, but he just opened himself up, and I thought it was just phenomenal. It was just great. So I love that two-parter. And then it takes me back to the very, very, very best video I've seen that anybody's released in Tenerife, in my eyes. And it was the one you did about number 5 or number 6 when you started your videos off. It was with a guy, I think he was an Irish fellow, again with some mental health issues. And I'm looking at him, I'm listening to him, and I'm thinking it just shows how you never know what kind of baggage anybody's carrying with them. Because looking at him and listening to him, and I think him telling his story of his work life and stuff, you think, what on earth have you got to have issues with? You know, you look at him, he looks fine. When I say looks fine, in all ways, looked youthful, didn't look over old, looked fit, looked healthy, good work life, gets a fair bit of sun. Everything about him seemed great. But you don't know when you look at someone what underlying things they're carrying. And he opened up as well, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. It was fantastic. For me, that's the best video you've done. It's the one I've liked the most. So those things I liked, and although I'm saying that, doesn't help me with mental health. I don't know how people are pushing you with mental health, but they are, and that's fine, you know, and that's fine. I don't think it's that way. I just like good content, and I like things that are different than the norm, and that's the other thing about your channel. It's different because all the subjects are different. You do have this mental health there, but you don't always do that, and you do things just about anything. And I like some of the things. You've done a couple of things that have got you lots of views about things within the media. I do that all the time, and you don't do that. And with most things you've done, I take a different stance than you, but that's fine. You said at the outset with one of them, you knew it'd get you, after you did it, it's got you a lot of views, but a lot of it was negative to you. But you're not chasing views, you're not like that, and I do believe you're not. I know you do want more subscribers because you mention it all the time. I mean, as I say, I have that there for people because I hate asking people. I do God knows how many videos per week, but I mention subscribers about once a fortnight. I just hate doing it. But I know we're supposed to do it all the time. But I have people saying to me, it's great that I never ask and it's refreshing. I just don't like doing it. You're one of the ones that do it even a bit too much for my liking, but that's up to you. That's your channel, you do what you will with it, and that's fine. But I know you're not in it just for subscribers and watch hours and money. I think you've said you're happy to try and get an extra bit of money to cover for the day or two you have off per week, because I know you do a 5-6 day a week, but you're in it more for the interaction and more for the content that you get behind the channel. And I do believe you. I believe you get a lot from it, and I do believe you. And I think it's great, and I think the channel will last a long, 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 long time because you've got a cracking fan base and they like you. And they value it, as I do myself. For all I don't comment all the time, and for all I don't agree with you on every subject, and for all that I'm not as what's the word, as I can't think of the word, as jubilant, as flowing in my devotion to you, as many others are. I'm not a devotee. I still like you. And then that takes me to the next bit. This is the bit that I left out of the video, which is what I'm recording. You said something about 3 or 4 months ago you was going to look at comedy and go into comedy and whatever else, and I thought, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Now let me quantify that. You said that, and you said what you was going to do, and it took you a while to put the gig together and whatever else, and I know you've done your first gig. I thought, and this is absolutely nothing personal, and I mean nothing personal, I didn't know that you'd be able to do it, and I didn't know that it'd be a success. But I wouldn't be one of the ones that go on your channel and say, I don't think you're going to be good enough somewhere else. You don't need that. You're trying to do something, you're doing it for the first time. I didn't think you'd be successful at it. Because I can't see a comedian in you, but it could be. I can see a clever fella who talks well, but I couldn't see it. But, number one, I might have been wrong. Number two, I could have been wrong. And number three, I really, really, really wanted to be wrong. And then that takes us to number four, which is the biggie. Number four is, I just so admired your courage to give it a go at your age. Not that you're old yet, but something you've never done before, which is totally out of your comfort zone, and you want to give it a go because you don't, it's what you've been thinking of, and you don't want to go to your grave not giving it a go. Now, I personally think, although reading between the lines, when you did it, it didn't go as well as you thought, but it did go really, really badly. But you had massive trouble with the weather and whatever else. I think you did right to do it as an away gig, away from where you normally stay. I wouldn't have even posted to anybody where it was at, because you did it with none of your subscribers there. You might have had a few there because you knew you was doing it. I did it with nobody at all. I think you should have done 3 away gigs, and I think even though it didn't go as you wanted, I think you should have done 2 more already by now. And each time I think you'd get better, and then by gig 4 or gig 5 you could do even bits more comedy when you're doing your presenting. And then when you get even better at it, then you could take it to further. But I didn't think, as I say, I thought, I'm not so sure he can do it. I'm not so sure. I didn't attach comedy with it, and I thought, no, I'm not so sure. But as I say, I so wanted to be proved wrong. I still want to be proved wrong. I'm hoping you just go and you do it for another 6 or 12 months. You end up being brilliant for a number of reasons. But the main reason is because I just want you to succeed. And I want you to succeed because I think you've been so brave, it's unbelievable. I feel the same about me. Again, I'm linking myself to you in a different way. You started up a channel, you felt okay with it, and you added a channel with Shelley. I started this up and I wanted to do something else, and I thought and think I can do it, but I didn't want to do it. I'm somebody that won't be filmed doing anything. I'm somebody that will not have his photo took. I hate having my photo took. I mean, photographs of me are like gold dust, and you won't want to see them because they look minging. I don't photograph well. I'm not at all photogenic, but I hate the whole process. I think I said earlier, I've said it in another video I've just recently done. I got a photograph from somebody 1 week ago that's over 40 years old. I've never seen it in my life before. It's the second photograph in my life, the second that I'm happy with. I'm over the moon with it. Looks nothing like me, but that's probably the reason. I'm over the moon with it, and I'll keep it on my phone. I love it, but I look weird, but I love it. I photograph terribly, and when I start this channel here, and because it's only me in this studio, I'm filming myself, and the words don't come out great initially. You get better as you go on, like with everything else. But I'm looking at myself, and I'm seeing the bald. Well, I'm not really seeing the bald spot here, but I'm seeing the bags under the eyes, the grey spots, the lines. I'm in my early 60s. For my age, I'm all right for my age. I don't mean I'm a good-looking guy, but I'm not a particularly old-looking guy. If it weren't for the eyes, I'd be all right. So I've got a full head of hair, whatever. I'm not so bad. But I hated looking at myself, and I thought, I can't do this and have people opening the laptops, because laptops are pretty big, and seeing my mush talking to them. I definitely can't see myself on someone's front room on a 50 or 60-inch TV. I thought, I can't put people through that. And I'm the most self-deprecating in the world. I'll call myself because I know what I look like. I know there's worse looking than me. I've seen worse on the internet, but I don't like myself. I don't like the sound of my own voice. A lot of us are like that. But it took me a lot to start it and to do it and to stick with it. And it took a real lot of courage. And it really, really did. For all I can talk for England, which I can as I'm doing now, it took loads of courage. And I thought of me there when you was going to do comedy. I thought, what courage? I've always thought I could be a comedian. But the thing is with me, I can't remember things. I can't remember jokes. I can deliver a joke reasonably, but I can't remember jokes. I do a lot of monologues on here and things I've made up because my brain's weird. I could go and recite 5 or 6 things that I've done on here that no one else has ever done, that I've made them up. I could go recite them in a comedy place and get laughs and it go down all right. And I could do other things like that. That I could do. But telling jokes and remembering other people's jokes, I can't do that. I just can't do it. And you did it, wrote it all down in the things you were going to do and broke it all down, which was great. But you were telling me some of the comedians, or the comedians you liked, and I thought, well, I'm not sure I like them. A lot of the ones you don't like are ones I like, so some difference there, but we're all different, we all have opinions. But as I say, I was thinking, I don't know if it'll work, I don't know if he'll do it. And in the end, I think probably you give yourself a 6.5, 7 out of 10. But that's not bad, it's your first ever. I mean, as I say, for me, I'd have done another couple by now if I'd have been you, and I hope you still do. I want you to do it, Rick, and I want it to work for you, I really do. And that's one of the other reasons I want it to work, because there's not enough comedians on the island. There's not many people funny there. And it's nice to have a break from just people singing all the time with backing tapes. So I love the idea of you doing it. I'd love to be there back end of this year, and you've done 20, 30 gigs and you're flying and you're doing well. Because I'd definitely be a fan. I'd be there watching you, hoping you do well. So I hope you carry it on and give it another go. But honestly, it was an hats off from me, because you had the guts to do it. Out of just nowhere, you had this thought, and you thought, I'm just going to give it a go. And the fact that you discussed it with people and had 3 months of preparation with telling it, and I know you were getting more nervy as it approached and whatever else, I just thought you was dead brave. Really, really brave. So they are the reasons to watch the channel. There's the video we did with Colin. There's the video we did with Michael, the singer. There's the video we did with the Irish fella. There's the videos about the comedy. There's more than that, but they're the main 4 or 5. And for all I don't agree with everything he says and does and whatever else, I agree with a whole lot of it. But I like the range of subjects. I like the easygoing nature of the channel. I like the fact that the videos are in just the right length as well. And as I say, I watch everything from start to finish. I never finish a video early. If I've got to leave a video on 13 minutes, I'll remember it's 13 minutes and I'll come back to it another time and go from 13 onwards. I've never missed a minute of the videos, and but at the same token, I'm not a devotee. I'm not an absolute lover, as in not a 100% believer in everything you say and do. But I still like what you say and do. I just like the channel. And as I say, I hope it goes on for a long time. And if it does, I'll always be watching it. Oh, and back to quality. Backing music when he puts bits on, good. Thumbnails, good. Graphics, really good. Editing, fantastic. And again, I take my hat off to you, because I've not learnt it all because my two problems are, one, I'm lazy, and two, I'm a technophobe, and I'm a massive technophobe, and I don't have the time with what I'm doing, working it to learn it anyway. So I'm going to carry on as this forever. This will be me. I'm happy doing it the way I do it. But I think your quality and everything else is getting better all the time. And it's up there with anybody, and I think it's all great. And I really, really, really like the channel. I just think everything about it is great. I really do. And it's the reason, as I say, I've never missed a minute of it, and I don't think I ever will. You know, I really don't think I ever will. And I like the fact that we know a lot about your back life. You know, that you open up and you tell a lot about your back life. I think that's really, really good. And that's it. I don't think I've got anything else to say. I'm glad I re-recorded this because it's better than the first one I did. And I'm glad I remembered the bit about comedy. I can't believe I forgot it on the first one. I just started to re-watch the first one. I don't normally re-watch things. I just do them, download them and put them out. But I didn't want to... I wanted to make sure I was happy with it. I wasn't as happy as maybe... I went to bed last night thinking, I don't know if everything I've said in there I'm happy with. I've redone some things. I'm happy with what I've done now. So that's it. Anyway, that's it. 13 channels reviewed. Channels that I watch on YouTube and the reasons behind them. And the bits I've garnered from certain presenters that I like and bits that I don't like to get me being whatever I am and what I've become. And I've left what I believe to be the best to last. The best in that is the one I watch the most of. I don't watch any other channel anywhere near this much. I would imagine the one I watch the most is this, followed by... It doesn't matter who's followed by. This is the one I watch the most. Okay, thanks for watching.